or pre-reading class to learn. So let's talk about how we're going to do it step by step. The first step will be showing the child that the letters go in order, because God is a God of order. As you can see, the lines behind me, the top line is going to be the clouds, the middle line is going to be the flowers, and the bottom line is going to be the grass. This is to help the young children have fun and also remember these lines. The line below the grass is, we call the mud, that space, and the line below. So the child from early preschool and reading class, kindergarten, they're learning about lines, they're learning about top, they're learning about the bottom and baseline, they're learning about mud, they're learning about flowers and clouds. And so we talk about that when we introduce the calendar, and we teach weather about each day. This goes right along with their daily learning as they're learning about how time of days and months and years go and the weather. In our first phonogram, we use the clock face to learn. And let's see. I'm going to have to change positions here to do that. And let's see if I can do that. Okay, here's our clock face. Our clock face is, notice, is not perfectly round. It has a little bit of an egg shape to it, so that the letters that use a clock face can stay on the clock face. And we're using that for a pattern for the children below 4 years old and the children above to think about. And let me introduce it. The top, we'll start with the top, is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That seems to be really basic for us to talk about, but we're giving basic ideas to children. We're helping them to understand this pattern for the first time. Although normally we use the clock face for our telling time, we're not going to use it for our telling time this time. We're going to use it actually for us to think about, to give precise directions for how to write. And the children that are 4 and below, they can use their finger to write, and in the air or on the board with your clock face. And the children that are 4 and above, if they're able to handle a pencil yet, you can teach them how to first use their finger and then use their pencil in the air and then try to do it on the paper after you direct them. So your paper is going to, that you show them, is going to look like this paper to introduce it to them. And then later on you'll take out the middle line of the lines where the flowers are, and you'll just talk about the middle. So they have to learn about the middle as well. The whole and the parts, the two parts. The whole is from top to bottom, and the two parts is from the flowers above, and the second part is from the flowers below. These are two parts, and the middle is going to be right smack in the middle. And this will be good for them to learn. So when we start to write, I'm going to use this top 12 as the top for the middle line. And I'm going to use the bottom grass for the foundational line here for this clock face. So for the first letter that we'll learn will be called the A, Ah. The A, Ah. Let me see if there's a picture of it here. I think there is, yes. Okay, the A, Ah starts at a little bit below the middle line, which is the flowers for the children. And it doesn't go straight up. It goes around and up to where the 12 would be, down and around to the 9, down and around to the 6, up and around to the 2, and straight down. Using this line that you teach them is going to be the line for a short letter, straight down to the bass line. And this is called the A, ah. A, ah. Now let me show you on the clock face without the letter. We're going to start at the 2. That's going to be right below the broken line or the flower line, which is the middle. And we go around and up to the 12, around and down to the 9, around and down to the 6, which should be the bass line or the grass, up and around to the 3, and up and around to the 2, connecting your lines together for your clock face. And then you pull a line straight down with your finger, if the preschooler, to the grass or the bass line. And you pick up your finger or your imaginary pencil, and this we call the A, ah. Now, this is great because this is the foundation of reading. And so every child will be excited to learn how to read. And it has 3 sounds. And so those 3 sounds, the first one is used the most, the second one is used second most, and the third one is used the third most. Again, the reason why I'm being very basic about this is so that as we're introducing these ideas and concepts, we're not leaving a space for people our students to guess. We want them to understand line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, as it says in Isaiah 28:10. So let me show you about a pencil. If you're going to be in the reading class, which is 4 years old and up, you're going to actually use a pencil that has 6 sides on it and an eraser, and it's going to have a sharpened area where you can write, even to show the children. Of course, you'll have to teach them about the pencil, that it can be dangerous, that they have to use it as a tool, and every tool has responsibility. This will be their pencil, and it's their writing tool, and they have to use it wisely and not use it for anything other than writing the phonograms and writing their letters to make their sentences and words. I should say words and sentences. Line upon line. Okay, so the way that you teach them to hold their pencil is the first finger, the second finger, and the third finger. The thumb and the first finger will be on top of each other, and then the third finger will come together with the first finger to hold your pencil right above where the wood goes to the yellow. And we're going to do it in the air, so it will be fun. Let me do it over the clock face. Now, for the child, you can actually have a clock face on the desk that they can imagine as they're writing their first phonogram letter with the sounds of a, ah. Every time they make the motion to write it in the direction that they are taught, then they need to say the sounds. A, ah. So again, we're going to start where? At the 2, go up and around, and I should say around and up to the clock face where the 12 is, down and around to the 9, down and around to the 6, which is the baseline or the grass, up and around to the 3 and then the 2, and then you will be connecting your lines together because that's where you started, at the 2. And then you pull a line straight down for a short letter to the grass or to the baseline, and pick up your pencil, and this is your a, ah, a, ah. This is our first phonogram. So you can do it with your preschoolers by not touching anything. And we need to talk to them about their imagination. Probably after you do the first time, you can explain to them that you're using your imagination to write with your imagination type of pencil, and to use your imagination to put your imaginary pencil to the paper. Oh yeah, you can do it actually in the air. And your pattern that's in your mind. This is helping your pattern to be established in your mind by starting at the 2. We'll play like we have a grass and play like we have a foundation. We start at the 2 and we go up to the what? The 12, down and around to the 9, down and around to what? The baseline, which would be the 6, backing up and around to the 3, and then back to the 2. Now we're not finished. We're going to pull our line with our pencil straight down to the baseline and make a short line for a short letter. Pick up our pencil, and that's our what? A, ah. It becomes like a great game. It's really fun, and the children learn quickly. Adults learn even quicker. And so this is good for every age, every student. It teaches, when you use the directions of the clock face and the strokes that you're taught, then you're using the pattern, and it teaches you how to think, which we need to know how to do. Using principles, the foundations of principles, and building on that to think. So the next one we have is going to be the we start at the 2 for the this is the way it looks, and we go around and up to the 12, down around to the 9, down around to the baseline, which is a 6, and up and around to the 4. And we pick up our pencil, and this is called a I'll go on this side. Now, that's for the teacher to do. Let's have the children to work with you with their imaginary pencil and their imaginary paper on their clock face. We'll go ahead and do this if they have a clock face on their desk or somewhere where they can do it with you. They can even come up to the board and do it after you finish it. Of course, it needs to go down. This one's tall. We start at the 2 with our imaginary pencil. Remember, we're making a we're going up to the 12, around to the 9, down around to the 6 at the bottom, and up and around to the we up and around to the 4. Pick up our pencil, and that's our Now, I made a mistake because I started to go up to the 2 because I was not thinking correctly. So, I do make mistakes. Let's start again. Start at the 2, go up and around to the 12, down around to the 9, down around to the 6, the 5, and this time I'll stop at the 4, pick up my pencil, and this will be our This sounds like, the second sound sounds like a snake. The first sound is you make the sound in your throat. Then we can do it with our pencil, especially for the reading class, the 4-year-old and up, which would be your thumb on the bottom, your first finger, and your second finger. And then we have our imaginary clock face and our imaginary middle line, our imaginary baseline. We start at the 2 for our imaginary go up and around to the 12, down around to the 9, down around to the 6, up to the 4. Pick up our pencil, and this is our k, s, k, s. Sometimes children will tell you, I don't know how to imagine. And you can explain to them that they do know how to imagine. That can you think in your mind about a picture of a pig? Of course, if they never saw a pig, that would be a problem. But think of something that they have seen, like a dog. Can you think in your mind of a picture of a dog? Can you see, and if they say yes, then you can say, can you see in your mind a picture of a dog, a brown dog? And then they can think about brown. Now that might be a problem because they might not know their colors yet. So you could show them a picture of a brown, which I don't have. I have blue and I have white. So can you think of this white dog? This is white color with white dog. And then in your mind, can you think of a white dog that has spots on it? And wait for them to decide if they can see a dog that's white that has spots. And if they can see that, then you can introduce to them that is your imagination. You can use your imagination for good, and you can use your imagination for bad. But God has called us to use our imagination for good. So you're actually training the child, and you're training yourself too, to use your imagination for good. And this is how you do it. So you don't have to think about, bad things in your head. You can think about good things in your head. And this is the imagination that God has given you. So we did it with our imaginary finger. We did it with our pencil and our imagination in the air for the preschool. You would not want to use the pencil because that would be very difficult for their fingers. Their little muscles have not developed yet to hold on to the pencil correctly, or even to be able to stop when they want to stop writing. But they should be able to do their finger. Put your finger in some form. Put your finger up in the air for the preschool and even the reading class when they first learn. And this is your imaginary pencil on your imaginary paper with your imaginary clock face, okay? And this is what pattern they're going to have in their mind that we're teaching them. Take your pencil on 2 and you do what? You go straight up? No. You go around, up and around to the 12, down and around to the 9, down and around to the 6, up and around to the 4. And we pick up our imaginary pencil and we have k, s, k, s. The first sound is k. The second sound is s, k, s, k, s, k, s. Let's go back to our first one. Our first one is a, ah. So I guess I could stand over here. Our first one is a, ah. A, ah. A, ah. And we can review how to write it with our imaginary pencil and our imaginary paper and our imaginary clock face and our imaginary line that goes from the middle and down to the baseline. Our second one that we've learned is k, s, k, s. 2 sounds. K, s, k, s. Okay? The next one we're going to learn has only 1 sound. It is d. We put our teeth together and our tongue right behind our teeth, and we push our tongue to our teeth and pull it back and make a D. D. It's only one sound. D. D. Okay? The A, has a short line that goes from the tube down to the bass line that we make after we write the clock face. The K doesn't have a line, and we stop at the 2, and we go around and we stop at the 4. But the D is going to have a tall line.